Alright, so here I am at the very noisy El Cabello Blanco service station. This is our meeting point for today. Two other couples on their way and we'll be heading east. We're going to Kalgoorlie, then up to Laverton, then we're going to join the Beadell Highway to Neale Junction. At Neale Junction we'll be dropping onto the Connie Sue Highway heading south down to Rawlinna and Cocklebiddy. Don't know how long it's going to take. We've planned 2 weeks, probably won't take that long. But we've got our gear, probably over-catered. All that camper trailer's got all camper gear, food and a couple of beers. It's time for adventure. Grab your gear, let's go. Alright, we're on the road. It's now 9:34 on Sunday and we've all met up, we've all bluted. They've coffeed and toasted sandwiched and now we're heading east. We will cruise along here on our way for this adventure. We were going to try and do the Gun Barrel Highway, but due to the COVID restrictions and not access to get the permits to travel through that part of the Aboriginal lands, we were only allowed to go through Cosmo Newbury, which means we're heading to Laverton, and then, or Laverton as some people say, and then we're going to join the Beadell, then we're going to join the Connie Sue, and the trip should take 2 weeks. Really looking forward to it. Should be a good trip. Everything is prepared, everyone's got more than enough food, water and fuel, and we're just going to hope that the vehicles and towing trailers all works out fine, and we're ready to go. So we'll cruise now until someone decides it's time to stop for a pee or a coffee or a tea or a Bonox, and lunch is meant to be at Merredin. Stopped in here at Boondy Rock to have a look at a dam that was used in the day for the steam engines. Look what the information boards have to say. You are here, just there. That's the rock, Boondy Rock. You've got all camping and stuff around there, which is pretty cool. Water trails, sustaining life in the goldfields. Between a rock and a hard place. Boondy Rock is one of the many sites used to catch water for the early settler steam trains. Steam trains, I hear you ask? Well, back in the late 1800s there were trains travelling around these parts and they needed water. So a series of rock walls and aqueducts and dams were built to collect the required water to feed the trains. Thanks to the national trusts, I'm guessing, and the local communities and shires, these places are restored and are used for campers and travellers. Alright, it's 11:22 on Monday. We left campsite this morning around 9:15. We came straight into Kalgoorlie and we had to just buy a few bits and bobs that we had forgotten. But anyway, now we're on our way up to Gwalia, and Gwalia, there's a museum there. It's an old abandoned mine site, abandoned little town. So that should be quite interesting. That's 230 kilometres away. 11:30. It's going to be a late lunch unless we choose to stop along the way. See you there. are in the old mining town of Gwalia. We've made it to the pub. Seems to be shut though. Gwalia is in the Shire of Leonora and is just over 200 k's north of Kalgoorlie. We just looked around the old settlement because we were pushed for time. But there is a museum and a cafe there too. These old miners' cottages, a single men's camp, the cars, the bric-a-brac were very interesting. This former gold mining town ran from 1897 to 1963 and it had nearly 1,000 people living here in its heyday. Oh yeah? God, I used to live in this. How hot would it have been? Hessian walls, kerosene heater. Dear. Record player. You can get your bottom dollar with the breeze flow, blue. And the kitchen is wet. It's late arvo by the time we head out of Gwalia. We still need to get to Laverton and fuel up, and then head out onto the Beadell highway and find a camp for the night. We found a good little spot and a nice night was had. o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. First day on the track now. Cup of tea time. Tuesday morning, two of the best pyromaniacs in the local district during a total fire ban, allegedly. Tuesday morning and we head out after a leisurely start. The track is in good nick, passing by an airfield that was set on the map to be abandoned. Then we continued east to Yeo, Homestead, and the track was great, conditions really good. Alright, we've made it to Yeo Lakes Homestead, apparently. Don't know what sort of homestead it is. Oh, there's some locals eating on the veranda, at the veranda. The step's missing. Things you need to know when driving in the outback. Bring tech screws. Of course you can get repairs from those two. Well, it's pretty modern, it's got glass in it, not Hessian. Of course the Wiggles have been here. A few, oh, Ballantyne's, Dad's favourite. Yum. Got a little bit of light reading for the toilet that they built over there. And a visitor's book. Oh, fill this in, eh? So this is Leo Bonnie, aka Leo Bonnie. Returned to Lake Yeo on the 10th of October 2011 for the first time since the early 1960s, where he built his two-room cottage from second-hand building materials from Leonora. The intention was to find enough water to run cattle to the property. Fortunately, there were many boreholes were sunk. This was not an eventuate. The property was abandoned. Water was carted from Laverton until the well, still being used, was sunk by hand to 30 feet. Please notice that the relevant WA governments have maintained this little shack and surrounds for tourist visits. Bit salty. Yeo Homestead is literally in the middle of nowhere. The old timers were looking for water, so why not near a lake in the Great Victoria Desert about 200 k's northeast of Laverton. Great facilities here, water tanks and a bore. A drop dunny was nearby too. Okay, we've just left Yeo Lakes Homestead. It's now 2:09 p.m. and to be honest, the track's been a doddle so far. There's been a couple of little sandy bits that the trailer's sort of had its way with the car a bit, but apart from that, this has been dead simple. A little bit of an adventure as we approached the Yeo Lakes Homestead. I noticed a funny marking on the road, and I thought initially maybe it's a flat tyre. Someone's got a flat tyre and it's just rubbing on the edge of the track, of the grooves in the track. But then I thought, that's the bloody water, isn't it? So I made the call, someone's losing water, and we were only a K out of Yeo Homestead, and sure enough, Neville's water tank, one of his water tanks, the bracket holding it in place had collapsed. Now, can you believe that the bracket was tech screwed into place? Follow me campers, that one is. It was tech screwed into place. So luckily we managed to scrounge a couple of metal tech screws. We fixed it within 20 minutes, half hour. Unfortunately, he'd lost all of his water in that tank, which apparently it's only less than 150 k's now to Neale Junction, so we should be there around 4 o'clock. And that's a great finishing time, I think. 4 o'clock is a good time to pull up stumps, and there's meant to be facilities also at Neale Junction. So let's see what this track brings. The corrugations aren't that bad. And there's the radio going, which I'll have to answer. No, I didn't do any witty comments in the book because I thought that would be inappropriate. The camera where we are.
We're at the Beadell Memorial.
And
Neale?
what is the significance of this aforementioned memorial?
I don't know.
Neither do I. We'll Google that later. Let's go have a look. Lovely countryside.
She is the wife of Surveyor Beadell, and after whom this highway is named, and her ashes were placed at Woomera.
The ashes were placed at Woomera. The drive to Neale Junction was great. Again, perfect conditions. We did arrive later than I would have liked, so no evening exploring. And I had some issues with my fridge, which I discovered here. Managed to get it sorted though. This is a great little campsite. Would have liked to have stayed longer, but the trip goes on. Gets all a bit more interesting from here. Stay tuned for that.